What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Fantasy Time. I am your host, Jacob Cutler, the Fantasy Guy, and today we have part 2 of our 2-part episode. So, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Make sure, boom, you visit our website, right? FantasyTimeSports.info. Everything you need is there. And then if you like what you see, please smash the like button, smash subscribe, and just tap on that bell notification. That way, anytime new videos drop, and they normally drop every Wednesday and Friday, you're right there to consume the content, because we're always dropping the knowledge. If you haven't realized already, right? It's right at your feet. Look down, pick it up, shove it in the head of your shake around, and boom, better fantasy player and a more knowledgeable football human being, right? Because that is what it's all about. If you're not growing, you are dying, right? So always look for the opportunities to learn and grow in something that you are passionate about. Always, 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 always. Man, always look for those opportunities, right? So smash the like button, smash subscribe, and just tap on that bell notification to stay up to date on all the latest content. Without further ado, let's get into it. Welcome back to part 2 of our 2-part episode. And welcome back to part 2. Hope you enjoyed part 1. Part 2, I had major audio issues with our final season grades. So I'm just going to get our takeaways, right? I'm curious to know what Brandon's takeaways are from this NFL season. I'm curious to know, what he thinks is going to happen. This is just going to kind of be an open discussion, a round table, if you'd say. I mean, there's 2 people at it, so not so round. But it's just basically an open table discussion about what we saw this season, what the season in review, right? It's Wednesday now, so we're right there. We're right there, right? We're 2 days away from our Super Bowl edition of Meat on the 50. Make sure you're looking out for that. I mean, once that drops, we'll be 2 days away from the biggest game of the year, right? I mean, what a season. From the playoffs that we've seen, from the regular season that we've seen, to the storylines that we've seen this season with John Gruden being fired, Henry Ruggs going to jail. Who else? What other storylines are in there? You got the Washington football team finally landing on a name. Garbage, by the way, absolute hot garbage. How does the Washington football team end up being the better option? Don't know there. But what a season that we've had, right? And I said him before, but as always, joining me, one of my best friends, Brandon Sullivan. Brandon, let's get into this. So, I'm curious. Give me before we get into our takeaways, just give me your thoughts on what we witnessed this year.
Man, just one of the craziest seasons I think I've ever seen. Just so many different nail-biting games, so many different changes that have been made, just so many different faces. Just at the end of the season, leaving, and just a crazy playoff bracket. Just teams starting off hot, ending slow. Teams starting off cold, ending hot.
Yep.
So many different narratives throughout the league that just an action-packed, very entertaining season. Kept me on my toes. The predictions and some of those weeks that I made were just totally crazy and lopsided one way or the other. Most of the primetime games were amazing. I had so much fun this season. It was such an entertaining season for me. I always was looking forward to Sunday this year. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you, especially after doing these videos. I could not wait for Sunday every single week, right? I mean, so many storylines. You're right? End of an era. The era is over, right? Ben Roethlisberger, done. Brady, done. Eli, done. Peyton, done. Drew, done. They're all done. They're gone.
It's crazy.
I mean, the oldest quarterback in the NFL is
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, right? I think he's at 18 seasons. He's close to 20. We'll see if he gets there. Maybe 15 seasons. He's up there. He's definitely up there. 2005. 17. Yep. This is going to be his 18th season in the NFL. He will be done shortly. Once Aaron's gone, that will be something to see. That will be something to see, because then and only then will that era truly be closed. The book is basically closed. It's been written, right? They're working on the epilogue, right? They're working on this naming the authors, right? The publisher, making sure the illustrations are good. But the book is basically closed.
Right.
We're on to a new era of quarterback. And if this playoffs has shown us anything, boy, oh boy, is the NFL in one of the best places a league could ask for. I mean, you got a moneymaker in Mahomes. You got just a jaw dropper in Josh Allen. You got the laser cannon arm of Justin Herbert. And then you got just the stoic, the unfazed. Doesn't matter. You could punch him in the face and he's just going to keep walking right through you. You got Joey B, right? Joey Burrow. You got Lamar Jackson, who's going to come back healthy. You got Jalen Hurts, who's looking somewhat decent, right? I'm not going to put Tua in there just yet because we'll see what happens in Miami. We'll see what he ends up doing. But how good of a place is the league in right now?
It's in a really good league. Or sorry, literally good place. The league is doing really well. It's healthy. What's crazy to me is almost every single one of those quarterbacks you named is in the AFC.
That's a good point as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because Kyler Murray's kind of self-destructive. I think it's part of the coaching, but we'll have to see. He's kind of got some question marks around him because when he didn't have DeAndre Hopkins, he kind of did pretty bad.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson's kind of on a decline. Matt Stafford's probably the best quarterback in the NFC, which is crazy to me. So it's only right that Trey Lance, is going to be able to fit in there and hopefully, spice up the NFC quarterbacking. Because, I mean, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
All those quarterbacks you named, AFC.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, you're right? The NFL's not in a good place. The AFC is in a really good place.
AFC is an amazing place.
AFC.
It's like the West and the East in basketball, right? Like, it just seems like the AFC is like the West right now.
Yeah. That also means that the AFC also must have sucked badly for a long time to get all these quarterbacks in their league, in their division.
No, that's true, because all these quarterbacks are high picks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all these quarterbacks are all high draft picks, right? You're exactly right. A lot of these
they're all first rounders.
Yeah, we're not seeing quarterbacks, that are late rounders that are emerging, right? These are all like highly invested picks that are actually working out. So that's a very good point. So, and we'll see what the NFL landscape looks like, right? I'm predicting that we're going to see a large QB shuffle in this year and next year. I think we're going to see a lot of
Mac
QBs.
Jones too, and the Patriots. I mean, he's not bad, so he's a Pro Bowler. But I'm just saying, like me, I don't have a lot of faith in him. But I'm saying, like Trevor Lawrence is there, Zach Wilson is there, Mac Jones is in the AFC. All these quarterbacks in the AFC. If Derek Carr can play well, he's got Josh McDaniels. We'll see another quarterback in the AFC.
Yep.
If Aaron Rodgers ends up going to the Titans, that's another quarterback in the AFC. And then so all you're declining Russell Westbrook, a declining Westbrook, and then you got Westbrook's on the decline, and then you got Kyler Murray. Like sometimes I'm a Niner fan, so sometimes I call him Kylie Murray. Kylie Murray is I don't know. He's toss up. Dak Prescott choked in big moments. I don't think he's a great quarterback. I think he's okay. So we'll have to see what quarterbacks emerge in the NFC next year.
Yeah. I mean, I completely agree. The NFC is a huge question mark right now. Huge question mark, right? And you're exactly right? Aaron may be jumping ship to the AFC, whether it be the reports are, it looks like the Titans may not pursue him, but again, it doesn't mean you won't end up in the NFC, right? Pittsburgh's looking for a new quarterback. Denver's looking for a new quarterback. Miami may be looking for a new quarterback. Yeah. I mean, can you imagine if he goes to Miami? You imagine if they're able to work out that team? I mean, with that defense,
they'd be stacked.
They would be absolutely stacked. Absolutely stacked. I guess maybe it's the toxic owner that we're learning about, right? Freaking Stephen Ross from Brian Flores, who's offering people $100,000 to lose games.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Unbelievable. If this is true, Brian Flores, man, what the balls on this man, massive. And respect to Brian Flores. I mean, he's a great coach in my opinion. You start 1-8 and then you win 8 in a row. I mean, hard to work with. Okay, maybe. I don't buy that at all.
Definitely respect.
Don't buy that at all. So we'll see what happens. And then, the cherry on the top of that story is Bill Belichick. That is the absolute cherry on the story. Bill Belichick not knowing how technology works and texting the wrong person.
Hilarious. It's just hilarious that he doesn't know how technology works. It's just the total Bill Belichick thing. It's just totally, he got Bill Belichick. That's what happened.
Like, Bill, it's pure comedy.
Opened up the TikTok dance and saw Jackson Mahomes dancing. Like, what the hell is this? How do I turn this off? Right? You know, he's opened up apps and didn't know what was going on and asked the grandkids, "Can you help me on this?"
If you haven't seen the text messages, I highly recommend you go read the text messages that Brian Flores and Bill Belichick had. It's pure, absolute comedy. All right. Let's get into it. So, starting with yourself, just give me, after everything we've talked about, right, this whole season, after everything we've seen, you know, what are you taking away? What are the 3 things that you're taking away from this crazy NFL season?
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many things involved, and I think that it's clear that Aaron Rodgers needs to go somewhere else. I think that that's big. I mean, because I feel like he has, I don't know if it's the defense, I don't know what happens, I don't know who to put the blame on, but I just think that it's kind of like it's like a Damian Lillard situation where it's like you're being loyal to the team and stuff, but you don't have that good of a defense, and you don't have, I don't know if it's the coaching, I don't know what it is, but he's got to go somewhere else fresh to start new and have a clean slate, have a good defense. I think there's teams out there for him. I think Tennessee is a great destination. I think that just with the weapons that they have, to be able to really establish the run game for him, to allow his defense to get some rest is big.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers always has to go out and make a million plays. It would take some of the pressure off of him and allow that defense to rest as well.
Yeah.
So I think Aaron Rodgers leaving is crucial. I think it's critical. I think that it's clear that the NFC West is the best division in football. I don't think anybody can argue with that.
Before you go into your second takeaway, I have a question for you, because you said something very interesting. You said about Aaron Rodgers' defense, right? So I'm curious, right? Because we see a quarterback, and I'm wearing the jersey. We see a quarterback who doesn't have these pieces lead his team to the Super Bowl. So do you think it's the fact that Aaron just, I think, kind of deep down, just kind of doesn't care anymore like he used to? Or do you think that in some ways he's kind of fallen off? Because you bring up a very good point, right? Aaron is, and I think most people would agree with this, one of the most talented quarterbacks to ever play the game.
Right.
Joe Burrow is in his second year in the NFL.
Yeah.
He has the Devontae Adams and Jamar Chase, right? You know, Aaron doesn't have a T. Higgins or a Tyler Boyd, but he has comparable pieces, right? He has comparable pieces.
That's true.
So, do you think that he just doesn't care anymore? Do you think he's hit his ceiling of how great he can actually be, where he can't really surpass it? What do you think is ultimately the roadblock for Aaron? Because you bring up an amazing point there, but we're seeing it with a guy in Joe Burrow. He's taken this team to the Super Bowl, and he has a chance to win it. Granted, Aaron's only won one Super Bowl. Joe may win one Super Bowl his entire career. We'll find out. But at the end of the day, like you are the biggest believer of this. Quarterback is the most important position in any sport.
Yeah.
What is that roadblock, do you think?
I think it's a combination of things. I think that you make some good points, and that gives me some new wavelengths that I'm thinking on. I think you are right. I think that he's not as passionate as he used to be. It does seem like there's some of these kind of a little bit deflated. It seems like out there on the field. I think that his leadership style is a lot different than a Joe Burrow or Tom Brady. I think that I don't think he's as outspoken as those two quarterbacks are. I don't think that he believes in his team enough. And I think that kind of hinders the success. But I do think that the team, they get down on themselves, and in big games, they kind of fold. So I think it's a collective effort. I just think that sometimes when you're in the same situation and the same thing keeps happening over and over again, you kind of just get deflated.
True.
And I think that a new environment would be a lot better. I know that I was living in the Bay Area my whole life. I was comfortable, and I wasn't, I didn't start a clean slate. It was the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
I think when I moved out to the Sacramento area, I thrived because I was in a new environment, and I had to get things done. I had to make them happen. And so it kind of felt like I had a clean slate. I had no distractions. I had, the traumatization that I grew up with or whatever. Everybody has things that they go through. It was left on the table.
Yeah.
So I think that if he goes to a new team, like say Matt Stafford, look what happened. Matt Stafford, Super Bowl.
Very good point.
We could win the Super Bowl.
Very good point.
Tom Brady. There was a lot of toxicity towards the end.
Yep.
Not knowing if they're going to choose him. There was an issue with they wanted to keep Garoppolo to replace Brady. All this goes to the Buccaneers, wins a Super Bowl. I think that I just think his time is up in Green Bay. I just think that he's not motivated in Green Bay anymore. I think you bring up a good point. I think that he just doesn't want it as bad as he used to.
And I think you're exactly right also, right? With Tom Brady and with Matt Stafford, right? What have we seen? What have we literally seen the last 2 seasons? We've seen veteran quarterbacks who go to a brand new team. What do? They lead them to the Super Bowl. I mean, if that is not a tall tale sign that, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, right? Some of these quarterbacks that have been on these teams for years, not winning. Loyalty is great. Loyalty is great, right? You're not winning Super Bowls. No one is going to remember who you are, right? I love Charles Barkley. I love him. I think he is he's a great human being. He's hilarious. He's great at his job. But if Charles Barkley was not on TV, nobody would remember who he was.
Nope.
Nobody would remember who he was.
Nobody.
No offense to Charles. No offense, and I love Charles. Again, no one would remember who Charles was. At the end of the day, people remember winners. People remember winners. You gotta win. Russ, these quarterbacks settling for this one Super Bowl victory, is that enough? Is that enough to you, right? You know what I'm saying? Like all these guys talk about, I want to be there. I want to win the biggest prize in the NFL. Do you really? Because, winners get things done, right? Tom goes to a new team, gets the job done. Matt goes to a new team. One time I'm hoping he actually doesn't get the job done, but Matt goes to a new team, takes them to the Super Bowl, has a chance to get the job done. If that's not a tall tale sign to all these veteran quarterbacks, I mean, then you're just being arrogant at this point. You're just being absolutely arrogant. Like I get loyalty, but at the end of the day, after being there for so long, the fans are gonna love you. Seahawks fans will always love Russell Wilson. 100%. Packers fans will always love Aaron Rodgers. It's just Detroit Lions fans will always love Matt Stafford.
They will.
When you indebt yourself to your city, when you indebt yourself to your team, fans never forget. That's the best part about being a fan. We don't forget if you show your loyalty.
I love Jimmy.
Yeah,
exactly. He didn't win the Super Bowl.
Exactly, right? So You know, we'll see what happens. But again, you make a great point, right? We're seeing in back-to-back season, these first-year quarterbacks, veterans, leave a team, go to a new situation, go to the Super Bowl. So that may be the new recipe. We may be seeing that, you know, but at the end of the day, you know, Tom Brady, good for Tom Brady and Matt Stafford for doing what's best for them, and it's worked out. It's worked out. So we'll see what happens with Tom Brady or with Aaron Rodgers in the offseason. But yeah, great point. Great point. Okay, sorry. What was your number 2? The NFC West.
The NFC West is clearly the best division in football, in my opinion. I think, you know, the 3 teams, Arizona, LA, and San Francisco, all great teams.
Yeah.
And then Seattle's not bad. I mean, they're not terrible. I mean, they beat us twice.
Yeah.
So we're an NFC Championship team, and they beat us twice. So it goes to show that maybe they're a little bit better than I thought. So, but they're the worst in our division, that's for sure.
Yep.
But we still have 3 really good teams in our division. And like I said, I've said it before, iron sharpens iron. We have to play each other twice a year, and we get better because of that. So that's one thing that I thought stood out, is that our division clearly is the best division in football. If it wasn't, 3 of our teams wouldn't have made it to the playoffs, and 2 of our teams wouldn't have been facing each other at an opportunity to play in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So kudos to our division. You know, it's just the teams in our division are well ran. A lot of owners that care about their teams, whereas you look at the NFC East, probably the worst division in the NFL.
Yeah, 100%.
The
Horrible.
sorry, the Eagles are sorry, the
Horrible.
Cowboys are joke artists, and the Washington, oh god, let's get into that.
After
3 seasons,
I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna call them that. I honestly.
Washington Commanders. It sounds like an XFL team to me. Or it was an AAF team, the San Antonio Commanders. So that's just recycle. But this is my thing. It's probably a good thing they didn't call them the Washington Defenders, because what if you have a bad defense? You're called the Defenders and you have a bad defense, and the Defenders give up another touchdown.
Yeah, exactly.
Defenders. So I can't believe that Commander thing. I mean, I just want to get your take on that.
The uniforms look like college. It looks like they were like, oh, the Minnesota Gophers? Okay, we'll take their uniforms. Oh, the Washington Huskies. Oh, we're going to take your W. And then we're just going to put it all together and make some of the ugliest looking uniforms ever. Like, it looks so bad with Commanders on the front. It looks horrible. And you have these Teslas driving around town handing out free Washington Commander gear.
Really?
Oh yes, there was.
I didn't know that.
Yes, there was. Teslas drove around on February 2nd to hand out Washington Commander merchandise to the citizens of the District of Columbia of Washington D.C. I mean,
Washington Commanders. I don't know.
It's horrible. It's horrible. And whoever gets paid to come up with names and design jerseys, who are these people? Because I've been doing that my whole life in Madden and 2K and in NHL and in MLB. I mean, how I can do it better in my sleep. I can design better uniforms, even with this bad name of Commanders. I can design a better uniform. You have this all-black uniform with this stupid W on the front of the helmet like it's some third eye tattoo. What the hell is that garbage? Like, it just looks hideous. It looks absolutely hideous. And if their name, I mean, you know what's funny? Their name reflects their play. Their name honestly reflects their play this season, which is horrible. That's what I have to say about that. I mean, it's horrible. Number 3.
I think that it's kind of a two-parter. What it is I think this season again proves once again that the best that the most important position in all of sports, especially the NFL, is the quarterbacking position.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at a team that was 4-12 last year. You've got their jersey on right there.
Yeah.
And they are going to the Super Bowl because of one person.
It's true.
If he was not on that team, I mean, obviously it's a trickle effect. It's a domino effect.
Yeah.
Everybody else, it's a snowball effect. But if he is not on that team, you guys don't make the playoffs. Agree or disagree?
Hands down. Not even a chance We're a foreign what 13 team this year.
And the reason why the 49ers did not make the Super Bowl is because of their quarterback. Agree or disagree?
Yeah. It came down to quarterbacking play, right? When push came to shove.
So, and you look at all these, and in the past. So let's kind of recap this here. Let's take a little deep dive over the last. Let me pull this up really quickly. Over the last, we're gonna go over the last 10 Super Bowl winners together really quickly.
Okay.
And we're gonna talk about their quarterbacks.
Okay.
And we're gonna, because this to me is very interesting. Okay. So we're gonna start with the New Orleans Saints and the Indianapolis Colts in 2010.
Okay.
Drew Brees, elite quarterback. They won the Super Bowl because of him. True or false?
Yeah, and Tracy Porter. I mean, that interception was key.
Saying, like, if he's the main reason they won that Super Bowl and got there.
Got there was Drew.
Because of Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And so then we go to Green Bay and Pittsburgh.
Yep.
The reason they won that Super Bowl, Aaron Rodgers.
Yep. Definitely the best quarterback there.
Now here's one. There's two times where I'm going to say that the quarterback, I mean, and that's only 2 out of 10 years. I think we're going to agree. New York Giants beating the New England Patriots was not because of Eli Manning. It was because of their defense and their run game. He had a part of it, but it was other quarterbacks probably could have stepped in and done what he did.
Close. That's not the one I was going to think you were going to say, but that was close, okay? You can make arguments that Eli didn't win the game. Make arguments.
So, in that situation, I don't think that the quarterbacking was the most important position on the field.
It's close. I mean, you don't have that pass to Mario Manningham. The Giants don't win.
It's close, but I don't think that Eli Manning was the reason they won the Super Bowl. The first time, I will agree with you. He definitely was not the reason. The second time, it's harder to argue. You can make arguments, that Ahmad Bradshaw and the running game definitely helped out there. But his play and his ability to somehow negate the Brady effect was interesting. It was very interesting because the only person... It's interesting, right?
Besides Nick Foles, right? Well, Nick Foles, yeah, Philly special. Okay. Eli Manning, is the only quarterback I'll ever give credit to actually negating the Brady effect, right? Doug Peterson had one good game. Anybody could have one good game.
Okay, we can say that his quarterbacking, but then that further proves my point. So we can say that the quarterback there was one of the main reasons. So then again, yes.
Yep.
Baltimore and San Francisco, I highly do not think Joe Flacco was the reason.
Ray Lewis was that reason. It was the final season and everybody played for
Ray Rice was the reason.
Yeah.
Anquan Bolden's yards after catch was the reason.
Yeah.
That team was stacked.
Yeah.
That team was stacked. Their defense was stacked. And Ray Rice was an elite running back at that point in time. That was the one time where I thought that the quarterback on our side was better than the quarterback on theirs. Yeah. The quarterback that lost, I thought, had a better season than the quarterback that won.
Yeah, I mean, certainly. I mean, Colin Kaepernick coming in.
Seattle and Denver.
That's the defense.
That was the defense.
Yeah, Russ played all right, but that's defense.
Russ played all right. So we had New Orleans, Green Bay, New York, 3. Because of the quarterback.
Yep.
2 so far, not because of the quarterback. So 3-2. Okay. But these next ones, most of these next ones are going to prove my point. Seattle and New England, Tom Brady led them, had to come back from 14 points in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
They won because they had the better quarterback.
Yep.
That's the reason why they won.
Kept them in the game, for sure.
Denver and Colorado defense again.
That was defense against the Panthers.
Denver and Carolina, defense again.
Yeah.
Defense again.
Yeah.
So 4-3. But then New England and Atlanta. Brady. Right. You had a better quarterback.
Yep.
Nick Foles again. He played well. They won because of Nick Foles. They won because of Nick Foles.
He went on a run. He went on a run in the postseason.
41 points. You cannot say that Nick Foles was not a good quarterback.
Yeah, no, he definitely played. He balled out. When it push came to shove, I mean, he did what he was supposed to do.
So the quarterback was, if they didn't have Nick Foles, they wouldn't have won.
Yeah. Oh well, if they had Carson Wentz, they may have, because he was playing like an MVP. That's the only thing.
Maybe.
But Nick Foles, if we're just going by strictly game, Nick Foles definitely helped them win that game. 100%.
New England 13, Rams 3. You could say it was the defense, but because they had the better quarterback is the reason why they had 13 points.
And everybody knew how that game was going. Jared Goff wasn't beating Tom Brady.
And Kansas City and San Francisco, clearly because Patrick Mahomes was the quarterback and Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, much better.
And Tampa Bay 31-9.
Tom was just better. Yep. So, Tom was just better.
I'm going to say this. It's very rare. It's rare. And the reason why I say rare is about 70 to 80% of the time, the team that wins the Super Bowl, it's because of the quarterbacking.
Yep.
It's not because of the defense.
Oh, yeah.
The defense plays an integral role, but the quarterback position is so important.
Yep.
And that is why, like you said, if you don't win a Super Bowl, unless you're Dan Marino, you're not going to be remembered.
Yep.
And that is why, unfortunately, 49ers fans, people will ask, well, his winning percentage is so good. Jimmy Garoppolo's winning percentage is so good. 35-16 or 35-15. He is a winner. But at the end of the day, he didn't win a Super Bowl. So therefore, he's not going to be remembered. And therefore, it is, in this league, it is, what have you done for me lately?
Exactly. Yep. And that's what it is for all sports leagues, right? It's what have you done for me lately? Hence why I always say, right, we're done. It's just like a newspaper, right? We're done with last week's news. We're focusing on this week's news because that's all people care about. They only care about what happens this week. What happened last week, right? No one can go back and change it. No one has time travel abilities, right? No one can change it. That's why everyone just accepts, right? What happened last week, right? So you're exactly right? What have you done for me lately, right? It's great, and it's just what we're talking about, right? Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson, right? Only winning one Super Bowl.
Gotta move on.
One Super Bowl in that time, right? You're exactly right. What have you done for me lately? And that's what the fans, and that's also, right? I get the love for the quarterbacks, but the fans have to put pressure on these guys, right? And if they fold, they fold, right? But if they put pressure on them and they perform, then you know you're doing something as a fan, right? You're doing your fan responsibility. But you're exactly right. What have you done for me lately? What have Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers done for their franchises lately? That's what they need to consider, and I think you're exactly right. My 3 takeaways. Number 1 is the Titans clearly need a new quarterback. I thought Ryan Tannehill was going to be able to Joe Flacco it and just kind of elevate his game and get there. No. Ryan Tannehill, I don't know who wants to give this guy a chance to be a starter, but I honestly think he should just be a backup somewhere. Just be a backup somewhere because after what we saw in that divisional game, 3 interceptions, number 1 seed, Derrick Henry coming back, a healthy Derrick Henry coming back, you're at home after a bye, inexcusable. Absolutely inexcusable if I'm the Tennessee Titans. And so, to me, the Titans clearly need a new quarterback because that is the only thing stopping them from getting to the big game. It's clear as day. Clear as day. Need a new quarterback.
Yep.
Number 2, the Cincinnati Bengals are the most ahead of schedule team I've ever seen in my life, and they have the 5th most cap space available this offseason, and they're in the Super Bowl. I mean, what Joey B has done for the city of Cincinnati, for the franchise of Cincinnati, absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Maybe Mike Brown will finally build these guys an indoor practice facility. Maybe. We'll see. I mean, the only team in the NFL that doesn't have an indoor practice facility, I mean, I guess if you take crap for so long, I guess it finally hardens you up. So I don't think nobody, I can tell you that nobody expected the Bengals to do what they're doing this season. Sure, people had predictions, right? They were like, oh, they may do something. They may, if things go this way, if things go that way. No one firmly was like, you know what? The Cincinnati Bengals are winning the AFC North and going to the Super Bowl. No one could confidently say that.
No.
This team lost to the Jets. They lost to the Jets. They lost to the Bears. I mean, they lost to the Browns twice. I just unbelievable. And the ability that just the capabilities that we will have this offseason to add weapon after weapon after weapon, ridiculous. I mean, if I'm a lineman, why wouldn't you want to go block for this guy? That's what I'm thinking. Like, if I'm a lineman and I just see this guy take this crappy team, no offense to any of those guys, I love them to death, but if you break it down next to like a what you think a Super Bowl team would be, they're not the best roster. They're definitely not the best roster, but they're playing the best football, and that's why they're in the Super Bowl. They are playing better football than any other team in the NFL besides the Rams to this point. We'll see what happens next Sunday. But the Bengals are so far ahead of schedule. I like Zach Taylor. I'm not one of these Bengals fans that still thinks he should be fired. That's dumb. Makes absolutely no sense, right? He had a mission. He's accomplishing his mission. I don't understand why people are hating on this dude. He's not just because his name is Zach Taylor and he doesn't look like your typical, expertise head coach does not mean that he can't coach a football team. That's my thing. I think people are looking at the way he looks and just kind of, he just looks like a young guy who's just out there, with a bunch of guys coaching them. He doesn't look like, the Vince Lombardis, the John Maddens. You don't need to look like that. I mean, Eric Spoelstra doesn't look like that, and Eric Spoelstra has 3 championships, right? 2 championships?
He's got 3.
3, yeah. Eric Spoelstra has 3.
One with Wade, and then he won 2 with LeBron and Wade.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, he has 3 championships.
He has 3 titles.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And I think the first title he was. Oh yeah, no, he's got 2 because the first title
was Pat Riley, right?
But he's still got 3.
Yeah. He was an assistant, exactly. I mean, Eric Spoelstra doesn't look like a Pat Riley. He doesn't look like he doesn't look like all these other top level coaches in the NBA. But he still gets the job done.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what matters most. If you can get the job done. Zach Taylor has proven that he can get the job done. So until, and this is what I've been telling you, right? Until Joey does something that makes me question his ability, I texted you the entire time. I'm not worried. I'm just not worried. Like, there was very little worry in me during that entire game because of the quarterback we have. And that's and the play calling and the ability to the headset goes out. And it's just like, oh, you know what? Just every play call I was calling actually worked. Just the levels that the Bengals happened to be on and just scored with getting Joe Burrow, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So I'm curious to see who they add on, right? Who they add on. My last takeaway, I am curious to see what happens with the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm curious to see what happens with a lot of these teams, right? I'm curious to see what happens with the Indianapolis Colts if they decide to keep Carson Wentz, which I think is detrimental to the team at this point. I like Carson Wentz. I think he's a decent quarterback. Do I think he can get the job done? Absolutely not. So I think the Colts may be looking for a new quarterback. But I'm curious to see what happens with the Las Vegas Raiders, right? I'm curious to see how Josh McDaniels, kind of ingrains himself in this franchise, right? I'm curious to see, like you were saying earlier, I'm curious to see how he works with Derek Carr, if he decides to work with Derek Carr, right? He may just be like, you know what, Derek, I appreciate what you've done for this franchise. I appreciate your time here. We're going to move in a different direction. We're going to go after one of these other guys. We're going to go after Aaron Rodgers. We're going to go after somebody in the draft, right? That very well may happen. So, I'm very interested to see what happens. I'm very interested. Josh McDaniels, yes, he had Tom Brady, right? But again, like we just talked about, right? Winning is winning. He has 6 Super Bowls, right? He had a chance to leave and go to Indianapolis. However you want to break down that situation, right? Was it right? Was it wrong? Who's to say, right? At the end of the day, he won, I think, 2 or 3 more Super Bowls after backing out of that head coaching decision for the Indianapolis Colts. If he feels that he's ready, and if he feels that he's learned from, his Denver Bronco experience of him, that he's not Bill Belichick, that he's Josh McDaniels, and he has to coach as Josh McDaniels, not as Bill Belichick, we'll see what happens. Because he is a great quarterbacks coach. I mean, what he was able to do with the offense and Mac Jones, right? Mac Jones only throwing like 8 passes a game, somehow making it to, well, he made it to the Pro Bowl because Joe Burrow it's in the Super Bowl. But I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm very interested to see the connection that they develop. I think that's going to be I think Josh McDaniels and Derek Carr, I actually like that pairing. I think that's a very good pairing. I think they're very similar in terms of ideals and logic. And I think you said it best, right? If Derek Carr can get somebody as a coach and help fix his IQ, help when the situation comes down to it, when the game is on the line, if Josh McDaniels can get in his head and say, hey, look, there's a guy with double coverage, maybe we shouldn't throw to him, right? You have Darren Waller over here who's probably single, maybe even double coverage, but he's probably 4 to 5 inches taller than any of the other defenders. Throw the ball up and let him go get it, right? I'm just curious to see the situations that Josh McDaniels puts Derek in to truly test, his quarterback. Because the biggest debate, right? And it's kind of like the Nicolas Cage debate, right? Is Nicolas Cage a good actor or not, right? It's kind of that kind of silent debate. Is Derek Carr a good quarterback or not, right? We're going to find out. He finally has, I think, an actual intellectual head coach who can actually teach him the quarterback position the right way, right? And so I'm curious to see what happens, this offseason, next season with the Raiders. I can't tell you how fired up I am for next season. I don't know about you. I'm pretty sure you're pretty fired up for next season. But next season should be amazing. Any last words for the people?
Once again, just shout out to Jimmy Garoppolo. Hell of a ride we had through all the ups and downs. It's unfortunate you weren't able to stay healthy. I wish you the best on whatever. I wish him the best definitely on whatever team he lands. I'll definitely be rooting for him. As long as it's unless he goes to there's a couple of teams I don't want him to go to, but rooting for the guy. I want him to succeed. Even if he didn't get us a Super Bowl, if he went somewhere else and got a Super Bowl, good for him. He proved everyone wrong. He stuck with it. He trusted the process. Hell of a season. And good luck to your team. And hopefully they can, for our first season ever, you've been rocking those Bengal jerseys all season.
Yep.
How the Shakespearean irony, if they were able to pull that off, would just be incredible. I hope that for our sake, our first season was a success and one of our teams is able to hold that trophy. We know that our team is eliminated, my team is eliminated from contention. Your team's just got to go out there and lace up the cleats, like you say, and get the job done. Get the job done is right? That is going to do it for part 2 of our 2-part episode of it's not really meat on the 50, but we got the 50 background, right? We're meeting on it, I guess, technically, but be on the lookout, right? 2 days away from our Super Bowl edition of Meat on the 50. Once that drops, all that is left is Sunday. We are so close, right? We are so close. The time is ticking away. I am ready. I am fired up. I am nervous, but I am also extremely ready to watch this game. It's going to be incredible. Remember, if you liked what you saw during either part of the episodes that we drop, do us a favor. Smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, just tap on that bell notification. That way, anytime new videos drop, and they drop normally, right, besides some special presentations sometimes, every Wednesday and Friday, you're right there to consume the content, because we're always dropping the knowledge, right? We're just putting it right at your feet. It's so easy. You just got to look down, pick it up, shove it in the head of you, shake it around, and boom, you're a better
fantasy player and you're just a more knowledgeable football human being, right? Because that's what it's about, right? If you're not growing, you are dying. So always seek the knowledge in stuff that you are passionate about. So remember, smash that like button, smash subscribe, and just tap on that bell notification to stay up to date on all of our latest content. And then always remember, we're down below. So boom, check out our website, fantasytimesports.info. All the information is there. All of our videos are there. Google Sheets are there. Updates are there. Pictures of the brackets are there. Everything that you could possibly want is all in one convenient place. So, fantasytimesports.info, right? You can also follow us on Twitter at FantasyTime2021. Follow us on Facebook at The Fantasy Guy 2021. And then follow us on YouTube at FantasyTime2021. Be sure to do all four now, right? Check out the website. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. And subscribe to us on YouTube. We're bringing the action. We're bringing the content. I hope you guys have enjoyed this season. Brandon and I hope you guys have enjoyed this season. We have enjoyed this season. There's only one game left. There is only one game left, and we are fired up. We can't wait. So, until Friday, until the Super Bowl edition of Meet on the 50, this is Jacob Cutler telling you that is one of my best friends, Brandon Sullivan. I am Jacob Cutler, the Fantasy Guy, and until Friday, we are out.